Hi everybody, my name is Rupa, working as assistant professor in Jaipur Engineering College. Now we are dealing the topic in third unit, two-quadrant control consisting of forward motoring and regenerative braking. So in that, I have explained you before figure. So this is a circuit diagram in scheme 2 class. This is a two-quadrant chopper. So here we see that two choppers are used here. At the single time, only one chopper. So only one semiconductor switch and one diode combination will be on, and there will be some time delay. After that, S2 and D2 will be getting on. Okay, so this is the scheme 2 chopper. Next, so if you see the waveforms here, see here, these are the waveforms regarding those. So what are the applications we are using for this one? Servo drives, machine tools, smooth transition, motors and braking. Okay, so if you see the waveforms here, the waveform signals are shown IA, VA, IS. During the chopper period, they are shown. So here in this, while drawing the waveform, the delay is not shown here. So after delta t, from 0 to delta t, S1, D1, suppose D2, S1 are on. From delta t to t, from here to here, delta t to t period, what is on here? See, D1 and S2 is on. So actually there will be some delay time here. Okay, so afterwards, quickly afterwards, delta t, D1 will not on. There will be some delay time, but this delay time is not shown in the waveforms. Okay, so both the choppers are controlled simultaneously, and the waveforms of signals VAC here, this is the signal given to S1, this is signal given to S2, this is armature voltage, this is armature current, and this is the source current. These are the waveforms shown here. So in drawing the waveforms, delay is not shown here, and the control signals are denoted by IC1 and IC2. So here we assume that the switch conducts only if the control signal is present. Okay, so this S1 will be conduct only if the control signal is present only. So if the control signal is on only, the switch S1 will be conducting. If the control signal 2 is on, IC2 is on, at that time S2 is conducting. So if you see the graph, see here, up to delta T, S1 is conducting. From delta T to T, S2 is conducting. Okay, so but here the conducting means what we are saying, the switch is in forward bias. In this circuit, if you see the discontinuous conduction, you does not observe that there is some discontinuous conduction here. We do not any notice the discontinuous conduction. It does not occur. Okay, so irrespective of the frequency of the operation, this discontinuous conduction will not be seen here. So when the discontinuous conduction will be occurring, when the armature current will be falling to 0. So see here, when the armature current will be falling to 0 only, there exists discontinuous conduction mode. Right? So, and 0 value for a finite interval of time should be also maintained for the discontinuous time. Okay, so as explained in sections, before sections, if IA is 0 up to some time, then it may be considered as a discontinuous conduction time. Okay, so as I explained before, the current will be becoming 0 either during freewheeling interval or when the energy will be transferring in the interval, right? In these two conditions, IA will be 0. But in present circuit, if you observe that the freewheeling interval or the energy transfer energy interval when occurs when S1 is off and the current is in the present circuit, where will the freewheeling diode occur? See here, when S1 is off and the current flowing through the D1. Okay, so here when S1 is off, here at this time S1 is off. When S1 is off and the current is flowing through the D1, there exists a freewheeling interval. Okay, so it will happen in the interval delta T to T, capital T, delta T to capital T. Okay, so at this time the control signal for S2 is given, right? So again, when the S1 is off, during this time S2 is on, right? S2 receives control signal. So IA falls to 0 in the freewheeling interval and back EMF will immediately drive a current through S2 in the reverse direction. Okay, so when S1 is off, immediately armature current will be going to 0. Okay, see here, immediately armature current goes to 0. But what happens? The EMF E1, back EMF E, it will drive some energy into the S2. So at this time S2 will be on. So it will immediately drive a current through the S2 in reverse directions. So what happens? This prevents the armature current to stay in the 0 value for finite interval of time. So if the armature current stays here for a finite time, for a duration of some milliseconds, if the armature current stays here, there exists a discontinuous conduction mode. But what happens here? When the armature current decreases and it reaches to 0, immediately S2, immediately back EMF, what it acts as, it sends the current, it pushes the current to flow through the S2 in the reverse direction. So it does not allow to IA to be equal to 0, but it pushes the current through the S2 in the reverse direction. So it prevents the armature current to stay at the 0 value for a finite value of times. Similarly, the energy transfer interval will be present when S2 is off. Here, when S2 is off, again the energy interval will be present. Energy transfer interval will be present at S2 is off. At S2 is off during this period and D2 is conducting. Okay, so S2 is off here and D2 is conducting here. So that is the interval from, again it can be taken as 0 to delta T. So see here, if you observe this 0 to delta T, I can take this interval. From here also I can take this, from here also I can take this. So I am considering first one. It will be easy. So from 0 to delta T, energy transfer interval will be existing. So during this interval, what happens? Again, the current falls to 0 during this interval, right? See here. 1 minute. So see here, at this time, this the interval we are discussing about, 0 to delta T. Okay, so at this time where the armature current is 0, here. See here, S1 will be conducting. Okay, and D2 will be on. S2 will be off, considering S2 is off. Only S1 is there. So S2 is off and D2 is conducting. So what happens? Here the current, armature current will be fall to 0 during this interval and S1 will conduct immediately because IC1 is present, as because V will be greater than E. V is greater than, voltage source is greater than E. So IC1 will be present. So what happens? The armature current will be flowing again. As V is greater than E, the armature current will be starts flowing after it attains 0, and it does not stops at 0. It starts flowing. It starts increasing as V is greater than E, because S1 is still conducting. Okay, so we observe that as a discontinuous conduction is absent here, the motor current will be flowing all the times. Okay, so during the interval, if you observe this, during the interval 0 to delta t, the motor armature current will be connected to the source. The motor armature, sorry, not the current, the motor armature will be connected to the source, either through S1 or D2. From here to here, 0 to delta t, the motor will be connected to the source V through S1 or D2. So what happens if it exists, it is connected between the S1 and D2, voltage will be greater than E. So IA will be positive. Here IA will be positive current, as voltage is greater than E. And next, consequently, during the interval from delta T to T, what happens? The motor armature will be short circuited either through D1 or S2. Okay, so the motor armature will be short circuited with either D1 or S2. So consequently, what happens? The motor terminal voltage will be 0 and the rate of change of IA will be negative. Okay, this all I have explained in the waveform. See here, from delta T to T, IA is negative, and from 0 to delta T, IA will be increasing. Okay, so suppose if you take the interval from 0 to delta T, the positive armature current is carried by S1. And the negative armature current is carried by D2. So up to negative current, there exists D2 negative. From 0 to delta T, IA is negative and positive, right? So negative will be carried by D2. Negative armature current will be carried by D2 and positive armature current will be carried by S1. Okay, the source current will be flowing only during this interval and it is equal to IS. Okay, the source current is flowing during this interval only, 0 to delta T, and the value of source current is IS. And next, if you take the interval from delta T to T, again armature current is positive and it is negative here. Positive current is carried by D1 and negative current is carried by S2. Okay, so from all these assumptions, we can say that the motor terminal voltage waveform, from the waveforms, I can say that the motor terminal voltage is VA is equal to delta V. So from this VA, I can write IA. IA is equal to delta V minus E by RA. This is equation 33. So from this, we can say that motoring operation, that is, motoring operation means positive IA. Okay, motoring operation means positive IA. It takes place when delta is greater than E by V. Motoring operations will be positive when delta is greater than E by V. And negative operations, that means degenerative braking operations. Negative operations means when delta is less than, reverse, delta is less than E by V. Okay. Motoring operations for positive IA, delta should be greater than E by V, and for negative operations, delta should be less than E by V. So for a given value of delta, it is shown that the ripple in the armature current is given by the equation. In before equations, if you observe the 14th equation, actually the 14th equation gives the ripples in the armature current. So this equation shows that the 14th equation shows that ripple is independent of motor speed. Okay, a change in a speed at a given delta, for a given delta, a change in the speed, there will be only change in the speed only when the average value of the current changes, but not the ripple. Okay, so ripple is independent of speed. For a given value of delta, the speed will be changing for only changes in the values of average values of current. Okay, so now we will observe the various values of delta, and you will observe the different speeds. For various values of delta, you will observe different speeds. So suppose, see, first I am driving the load at no load. Okay, so I am driving the drive at no load. The drive is now at no load. Then IA will be equal to 0, and the waveform IA will be symmetrical about the time axis. See here, if you see the figure, at no load IA will be equal to 0, and waveform IA will be, it is symmetrical about the time axis. Waveforms be here. Okay, if you see the waveforms, it is symmetrical about the time axis. See here, IA is symmetrical about the time axis. This is called as symmetry. And again, okay, next, a decrease in the speed. After the speed decreases, IA will be increasing, and the entire waveform of IA will be shifting upwards. See here, entire, suppose if you consider up to here, the entire waveform of IA will be shifted upwards. So this is downwards and it is shifted upwards, and this is downwards and it is shifted upwards. Okay, so when IA becomes greater than the magnitude of ripple, okay, when the IA becomes greater than, if IA is greater than the ripple magnitude, then IA will always be positive. Now only S1 and D1 will be conducting here. Okay, the positive ripples, when the IA will be transferred to the positive, S1 and D1 will be conducting at this. Only S1 and D1 will be conducting. So, though S2 will be receiving the control signals here, see here at this time, S2 will be receiving the control signals. At the positive peaks, S2 will also be receiving the control signals. But though S2 is also receiving the control signals, it will not have a chance to conduct because there is a reverse bias applied by the conducting diode D1. Okay, during this time, S2 is also getting control signals, but this D1 is giving it will not have a chance to conduct. S2 does not have a chance to conduct because the reverse bias is applied by the conducting diode D1. So that's why S2 will not conduct. So as the ripple is almost 5% of the rated current, now S2 and D2 will have to conduct only when the motors is only at light load. That means if the motors are only at the light loads, very light loads means the armature current will be only 5% of the rated current. So at that time only S2 and D2 will be conducting. So similarly, after the speed increase, if you increase the speed above the no load, then it will produce the negative IA. And the waveform will be shifted downwards. This positive one will be shifted to downwards. At that time, S2 and D2 will be conducting. So when the IA will be shifting to positive upwards, S1, D1 will be conducting. When the waveform will be shifting to downwards, S2, D2 will be conducting. Okay, that means that when IA is positive, S1 D1 conducts. When IA is negative, S2 and D2 will be conducting. Okay, so from this we can say that the forward motoring is driven by S1 D1. This is forward motoring, and S2 D2 we can call it as braking current. Okay, this is forward motoring current. In the forward motoring current, S1 D1 will be on, and these are carried out by S1 D1. Forward motoring current is carried out by S1 D1, and braking current is carried by S2 and D2. We can simply say that. And we are expecting here very low torques. If all the devices are conducting, we can expect very low torques. Okay, so this is the two quadrant operation of forward motoring and regenerative braking. Next, we will go to a problem. A motor of example 4.3 before example is controlled by a class C 2 quadrant chopper operating with a source voltage of 230 volts and a frequency of 400 Hz. First one, calculate the motor speed for a motoring operation at delta is equal to 0.5 and half of the rated torque. Second one, what will be the motor speed when regenerating at delta is equal to 0.5 and rated torque? Okay, so before example once we will see. So this is before example. A 230 volts, 500 RPM, 90 amperes, separately excited DC motor. It is having a resistance of 0.115 and inductance of 11 millihenries. The motor is controlled by a chopper at operating frequency of 400 Hz. Okay, so 230 volts, 500 RPM, 90 amperes, remember. And resistance is 0.115 and inductance is 11 millihenries and frequency is 400 Hz. Okay, now calculate the motor speed for motor operating at 0.5. So see that 230 volts, 400 Hz and RPM is 500 RPM. RA is 0.115 and L is 11 millihenries. So remember those. First, at rated conditions of operation, we have to calculate ER. ER is equal to V minus IA, R and RA. So 230 voltage is 230 minus 90 into 90 means IA. Armature current. Before example 4.3 example, we have given that IA is 90 into 0.115 R. That is equal to 219.7 volts. And from equation 4.33 before equation, see here from equation 4.33, this is the 4.33, IA is equal to delta V minus E by RA. Right? So from that delta V is equal to E plus IA RA. I can write. So delta V is equal to E plus RA. We have to calculate the motor speed. Okay, motor speed means N we have to calculate. N we have to calculate. What is the formula? NR into E by ER. Okay, so E we have to calculate and ER we have calculated. Rated conditions of operation we have calculated. Next, NR we have to, we are getting from the question, it is the given data. NR is 500 RPM. So now E and ER we have to calculate. ER we have already calculated, and now for E we have to write the formula from equation 4.33. Delta V is equal to E plus IARA. From that, we have to calculate E here. E is equal to delta V minus IARA. Okay. So delta V, delta is given, duty ratio is given as 0.5. So 0.5 into V, V is given as 230 volts into V minus IA is 90 amperes. Sorry. At half of the rated, we have to write half of the rated torque. So half of the rated torque means we have to cut the current also into half. So 45, 90 by 45, sorry, 90 by 2, 45. So IA is 45 and R is as usual 0.115. So you will get the E is equal to 109.8 volts. So N is equal to NR into E by ER. That is equal to 500 into NR is 500 before 4.3 example into E by ER. E means 109.8 by ER 219.7. Already we have calculated 219.7. Okay, next, second one. Second bit, what will be the motor speed when regenerating at delta is equal to 0.5 and rated torque? So here we have to calculate the speed when regenerating is there. So before example, we have considered the motoring operation. Now we have to consider the regenerating operation. So regenerating operation is at delta is equal to 0.5 and at rated torque only. So before example, we have find out the half torque. Now we have to find out the rated torque only. Okay, so see here at rated torque current will be 90 and RA. So find out the first E, find out. E is equal to delta V minus IA RA. So that is equal to delta E is equal to delta V minus IA RA. Delta is 0.5, given is 0.5 into 230. 0.5 into 230. So here I am taking regenerative braking. So 1 minute wait. For regenerative braking, actually we have to take minus. So if you calculate this, you will get here minus only, not plus, minus only. So minus 90 into 0.115. Okay, so it will, you will get a value 125.4. So N is equal to NR into E by ER. So N is equal to N into E by ER. So substitute the values. N is equal to 500 into E means here what we have calculated 125 by ER means same value 219.7. That is equal to 285 RPM. So this is the motor speed at rated torque only. So if at all it is asked for half torque, then we have to reduce this current also for given torque. So half means 45. 3/4 means like that we have to reduce. Okay. Next. After the problem, we have to go for quadrants. Two quadrant control consisting of forward motoring and reverse regenerative braking. So 1 minute. So from this here, two quadrant control consisting of forward motoring. Here also we are going to class B chopper. Until now we have gone through class A chopper and class B chopper. So now in this we will class C chopper also I think over. Now we will read about the B chopper, class B chopper. Okay, so if you change the small arrangements, you will know about this choppers. Just by arranging the choppers in various branches, you will go for these choppers. Okay, so briefly I will explain just I will give you a brief introduction and scheme 1 and scheme 2 and mode 1 and I will be explaining in next class. So this two quadrant chopper will be explained in next class, but orally little bit I will explain see here today. So this two quadrant operation, this will be consisting of again forward motoring and regenerative braking both. Okay, so this requires a chopper which is capable of, a chopper should give positive voltage current either directions. Here also we should use the chopper which is working in either directions. So it is rarely used, but this type of choppers, this two quadrant operation is rarely used. But the choppers what we are using in these applications, they are used in current source inverters. Okay, and we can overcome the disadvantages in this two quadrant by a four quadrant chopper also. Again, this two quadrant chopper is also having two types of schemes, scheme 1 and scheme 2. Okay, so in next class it will be